Today I have a build for y'all that not only suspends every single target on the battlefield, but also ignites every single one of those defeated, suspended targets. So let's get right into it. As you can see, we are rocking and rolling with pure Strand Titan with the Abeyant Leap exotic boots, which has the Puppeteer's Control perk, which improves your Dranger's Lash to spawn additional projectiles. These projectiles are going to track more aggressively, travel further, and suspend stronger, and give you Woven Mail whenever you suspend a target. It's worth noting as well that that Woven Mail that you get whenever you suspend a target does not have to be specifically from the Dranger's Lash suspension. It is any suspension. So even if I just use my Shackle Grenade as an example, that will suspend targets and also give me Woven Mail. Now, what is Dranger's Lash? It is the first aspect of our subclass where we can activate our Barricade ability to create a ripple that will travel forward, suspending and damaging targets that it hits. Typically, this only makes one of those suspending ripples, but as you saw in the intro of the video, with Abeyant Leap, it will make 3 of them, which just makes our suspending and crowd controlling capabilities significantly stronger. Now, as far as the igniting goes, every single target that we defeat that is suspended is going to get ignited, and that is due to the exotic weapon for this build, the Devil's Ruin exotic sidearm, which is odd that it ignites everything that it gets a final blow on if it's suspended, because nowhere on the weapon does it say that it's supposed to do that in any capacity, which means this could potentially be a bug. I am not completely sure, but even if it is a bug, it has been in the game ever since the Devil's Ruin rework. So even if it is a bug, I really don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. And frankly, Bungie has other more pressing priorities to patch and fix. So even if it is a bug, I think you have more than enough time to go and have fun with it. Hopefully they just leave it in the game permanently because it's a really fun build. And I wouldn't say it's too overpowered. It's just the right amount of strong. So with our Devil's Ruin, the intrinsic trait is going to be Close the Gap, where final blows are going to create fire sprites. And after picking up a fire sprite, we can do the alternate reload on Devil's Ruin to enable a high-powered solar laser beam mode that can also stun unstoppable champions. Now, whether it's intentional or not, I believe the ignitions on suspended targets is being caused by the pyrogenesis trait on Devil's Ruin, where solar laser scorches targets hit and ignites them while defeated. I think for whatever reason, the game thinks that whenever a target is suspended, any damage that you do to said target is solar laser damage. And what I mean by that is, if I shoot at this Honored Legionary right here, you'll notice that it just does damage. Nothing crazy, no additional effects, no scorching, no igniting, nothing like that. But the very second that I suspend a target, my Devil's Ruin regular shots will now scorch the target. As you can see, it's taking damage over time, and it's got the orange effect on it, and of course, it's getting ignited. So I think what's going on is that for whatever reason, typically you're only supposed to scorch the targets and ignite them when we're killing them with a laser beam. But I think for whatever reason, whenever they're suspended, the game thinks that the Devil's Ruin is using the laser beam mode, so it's scorching everything that it hits, and it's igniting everything that it hits. So now to build upon this core setup, the rest of our subclass is going to be Blade Fury. That's our only option for super anyway. We're going to go with Rally Barricade because it has the lowest cooldown of class ability options on Strand Titan, and we of course want to be casting our class ability as much as possible to get as much mileage as we can out of Dranger's Lash and Abeyant Leap. We are also Frenzied Blade, 3 melee charges, nice and easy, only option anyway. We are also of course going Shackle Grenade, so we have another way to suspend enemy targets, another way to get Woven Mail through Abeyant Leap, and another way to allow us to scorch and ignite anything that we kill, assuming that it is of course suspended. As far as our other aspect goes, we're going to be going with Banner of War, which doesn't necessarily have too many synergies with this build. We're not doing a whole lot of like glaving or meleeing or sword final blows or anything of that nature, but generally speaking, it's a very strong aspect for high survivability, both for you and your teammates, and it's not particularly difficult to start up or keep going, as all you have to do to get it going is defeat a target with either a melee attack, a finisher, or a sword. So we have 3 options to start of it, 2 of which are not loadout specific. That will pulse with energy, periodically healing nearby allies and increasing melee and sword damage. And anytime we defeat targets or nearby allies are going to defeat targets, it's going to charge the banner, increasing the speed of its pulses and increase the duration of the banner. So it's relatively easy to get this up. Just do a finisher on one thing, kill anything with a Frenzied Blade. You've got a healing aura around you, very nice for general survivability. As far as our fragments go for the build, we're going with the Thread of Mind. We're defeating suspended targets, grants as class ability energy. This is going to give us a nice positive feedback loop between suspending things with our Rally, Barricade, Dranger's Lash, Obey, and Leap. Then we defeat those suspended targets. That gives us class ability energy back through Threat of Mind, and we can rinse and repeat all day long. We also have the Threat of Generation, where dealing damage generates grenade energy, so we can have higher uptime on our Shackle Grenade for even more suspensions. Next up, we have the Threat of Fury, where damaging targets with a Tangle grants melee energy. We are going to very easily be able to generate tangles, as they will spawn from any defeated strand debuff target, aka the suspended targets. And this is going to be nice because it maintains high uptime on our melee ability, so we always have a melee around to get a final blow on something with it, so that we can pick up Banner of War anytime we need to reinstate that buff. Finally, we have the Threat of Continuity, where suspend effects applied to targets are going to have increased duration, so anything that we suspend is just going to be suspended for longer, give us more time to get the final blow on it, get the Threat of Mind proc for class ability energy refund, and of course just things being suspended for longer is generally good, because the longer they're suspended, less time they have to shoot at you. As far as weaponry goes, other than the Devil's Ruin, we're very obviously going to be picking up the Mint Retrograde. You can technically use whatever you want, but this thing is just way too good, even though it is getting a slight ammo reserve capacity nerf once we walk into Renegades. It still just does so much damage. It's so easy to use. It absolutely blasts tankier targets. It's good for boss damage. It's a great all-rounder weapon. Use what you want. I like the Mint Retrograde. Also, in our bottom slot, this is another situation where you can technically use whatever you want. I actually kind of want to go with a Synancia because it's got Eager Edge, which is really nice. We can get some special ammo generation off of it with the Sharp Harvest perk, and it's another way that we can proc our Banner of War if for whatever reason we don't have a finishable target or we are out of melee energy. It'll also have its damage improved by our Banner of War if we do have Banner of War active, which means our sword becomes a viable option for maybe some champion damage or for some boss damage, which is a little bit safer because we're getting healed by the Banner of War. So you just have a decent amount of options with the sword. You don't have to go with the Eager Edge option either. You could go with something like Relentless Strikes in conjunction with like Whirlwind Blade, for example, if you want to go all in on damage. That one's kind of up to you. As far as stats go, all we really care about is super high class stat, as close to 100 as possible, so we have max uptime on our class ability, as well as high grenade stat, as close to 100 as possible, so that we have max uptime on our Shackle Grenade. We don't really care about getting either of these stats over 100 though, because we don't care about bonus damage on a Shackle Grenade, and we don't care about overshielding when we cast our class ability. We just want as much regeneration as we can get from all sources, so we just care about getting as close to 100 as possible. As far as our other stats, getting high super is very nice, so you have more super uptime, more super casts, and getting high melee is also nice. You get a little bit more mileage out of the Thread of Fury, and so that it passively regenerates a little bit more quickly as well. As far as our armor mods go, on our helmet, we want a Dynamo, so we reduce our super cooldown whenever we use our class ability near targets, in conjunction with a Harmonic Siphon for the Mint Retrograde, and a Solar Siphon for the Devil's Ruin. Down on the gloves, we'll have Impact Induction, so that we get a little bit of grenade cooldown anytime we hit someone with our powered melee attacks. We'll have a Bolstering Detonation, so we'll get a little bit of class ability cooldown when we hit someone with our grenade, and we'll have a Solar Loader, so we have higher reload speed on our Devil's Ruin. Down on the chest piece, nice and easy, Concussive Dampener, along with some resistances, depending on whatever you're fighting. Down on the boots, I'm liking double Solar Weapon Surge, so we have a 17% damage bonus on our Devil's Ruin anytime that we are armor charged. Our sword is also solar as well, so that damage boost will apply to the sword also, in conjunction with a Strand Scavenger to maximize ammo in our Mint Retrograde. Finally, on the class item, the typical Reaper, Time Dilation, Powerful Attraction combo is going to be more than enough. However, this is only possible on a tier 4 or tier 5 piece of armor where you have 11 energy capacity. If you do not have 11 energy capacity, I would encourage you to swap the Time Dilation for an Outreach mod instead for a little bit of melee energy anytime you cast your class ability. Finally, we have got our artifact, and while the artifact is not necessary for any part of this build to work in any capacity, this artifact is really good for this build, starting with Diviner's Discount. All scavenger mods are discounted. Tightly Woven, where while Woven Mail is active, you get increased class ability and grenade stats. Specifically, it gives you plus 20 to each, meaning that if you want to, you could only just go 80 grenade stat and 80 class stat, since anytime you have Woven Mail, which is anytime you suspend anything, which is basically always, those will bump up to 100, and you can reallocate those stats into other pools for this particular expansion if you would like to. Next, we've got stuff like Threadling Proliferation, Pack Tactics, and Energy Acceleration. This is just going to increase the potency of your Mint Retrograde's damage by spawning Threadlings and just a little bit of extra micro missiles, kinetic shockwave, all that goodness. Fever and Chill, where rapid precision hits with solar weapons grant Radiant, very easy to proc with Devil's Ruin on suspended targets. Cauterize Darkness, where strand debuff non-boss combatants take increased solar damage from all sources. That's a match made in heaven for the Devil's Ruin on suspended targets. We've got Shield Crush, where anytime you are radiant, our grenade recharges faster and deals increased damage, which we'll get from Fever and Chill. And anytime we have Woven Mail, our melee is going to recharge faster and deal increased damage. And then finally, Elemental Overdrive, where picking up an elemental pickup or a tangle grants increased damage to weapons of the same element. Specifically, this is a 10% increase, and it's perfect for Devil's Ruin because Devil's Ruin is going to make its own fire sprites to give itself a 10% bonus, and then picking up a tangle is going to give our Mint Retrograde a 10% bonus. The also final thing I want to note is that because this creates fire sprites, remember that anytime you pick up a fire sprite, it gives you a little bit of grenade energy back, which means that just by getting final blows with the Devil's Ruin and picking up those fire sprites, we're giving back a little bit of energy to our Shackle Grenade to make it even easier to keep everything suspended. Now, whilst you can use this build in absolutely any content, I did want to test it out in a run of a fully modified up coil. As gamers, we all chase good deals, but I've seen some people get burned. I mean, even I did back in the day, although I should have known that guy wasn't actually going to give me a clear gem in LEGO Universe. But jokes aside, gamers get targeted especially heavily with things like Discord scams, fake promos, and on and on. So now when I look for good deals, I look for safety first and a secure, innovation-driven marketplace where security is a foundation, not an add-on, one that accepts over 400 secure local and global payment methods, and where every seller is verified before being allowed to list. Because your gaming account, identity, and access are priceless. So always choose platforms where good deals and security go hand in hand by using my g2a.com page link down in the description below. Thanks g2a.com. Now let's get back to the video. All right, let's see what we can do here. So step one, I'm gonna hit a suspension on something. Pop, that'll give me Woven Mail. And then I'm gonna try and get a melee final blow as well. So start up the Banner of War. Let's Shackle Grenade. I genuinely don't know where my Shackle Grenade went. God, the protected enemies are so annoying. Kaboom. Throw one of those at that guy. Scorch him up. Let's suspend him. Quick little melee. He's toast. Walk into a Screeb. Casually waste all of our team's revive tokens. And let's wrap you guys up real quick. I'm going to focus on the trash mobs first so I can get the energy back from Thread of Bind. So I can always have class ability energy coming in. And then I'm going to run over here and throw my Shackle Grenade at these guys. So I can get even more class ability energy through Thread of Bind. And I'm going to shove those down there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Take it easy, take it easy. And let's get out of here. Don't really need the Ephemeral Virus anymore, so I'll hop on the plate to drop it. Got Pyrogenesis available. Give him a little beam. I kind of want to go grab Banner of War real quick and just start sorting them. Are we serious? I can also, I'm going to hit him with one of my Crab Claws real quick as well, so I sever him. So he does less damage. He is still doing quite a significant amount. No! Let me up! Oh, I want to get Banner of War back again for my super. And then I'll just absolutely cook him. Hit him with the claws, the Crab Claws. Pretty easy first run. I'm just going to spend all of my tokens on revives for Team Good Guys. I'm a nice fella. Alright, let's rip one of these. I'm actually going to get a melee final blow on one of them, which is super easy while he's suspended. That'll go ahead and kick off my banner. And then I know we have another pack right here. killing these suspended targets are going to give me my class ability back, so I can rip my class ability and kill another suspended target. And again, the kills with the Devil's Ruin are going to make fire sprites for me, which is going to go ahead and give me back grenade energy, so I can get a shackle grenade. And then I can use the shackle grenade to suspend more things and kill those things to proc Dread of Mind to get my class ability back, and just loops around. It loops and loops and loops and loops. Alright, so I think, yeah, we always want to go class ability first, because that's the one that's going to take a little bit longer to regen. And then sometimes if we just suspend enough stuff and nuke all that suspended stuff, which is pretty easy with this build because everything gets ignited, then we'll just get the class ability back right then and there, and we can pocket our grenade for the next instance of wanting to suspend things. Like right here, hit a little suspendy. Pyrogenesis is ready. A little laser paint. And wow. And then we didn't get much class ability energy back off of that pack because we didn't get many of the final blows, but it's okay because we can just throw our shackle grenade. Shackle those enemies. It's pretty simple. You're just kind of flip-flopping between pyrogenesis, laser beams, picking up fire sprites, doing a lot of damage, suspending everything with your class ability, suspending everything with your shackle grenade, popping super here and there. When you have Banner of War, you do a bunch of bonus damage. All right, let's, I should have started with a class ability. That's on me. Let's get our Banner of War going. See, this is what I mean too, right here. Even if we're not necessarily killing the enemy that's suspended with our Devil's Ruin, because it's suspended for whatever reason, it takes, it gets scorch stacks when we just shoot at it with Devil's Ruin. So even if we're not actually killing the enemy, we're igniting it just from shooting at it. We have Banner of War up, so our super does stupid damage. Pick up Tangle. That. I want to get Banner of War. Oh, I still have Banner of War, actually. I can see the flag on my back and the green aura. Yeah, I have a lot of Banner of War up. I can just sword swing him. Because I'm doing bonus sword damage because of the Banner of War. It turns sword into like a legitimate DPS option. And then whenever our super comes back, we can just crab claw him. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah. Pretty simple, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I love this room. This room's I think this is the Wyvern City, if I'm not mistaken. Look at all the igniting. Oh, I need to get my Banner of War back for the healing. Let's get a shackle grenade out as well. Let's get some final blows on those guys. Get some class ability energy. Get another one of these suckers up. And I'm gonna make sure I'm picking up my fire sprite so I get my grenade ability regeneration. Yeah, the fact that you do so much damage to everything that's suspended with Devil's Ruin just because you ignite everything so quickly, even if you're not getting the final blow on it. And then we've got our Banner of War, of course. Yeah, it has the boss burst too, because the Banner of War sword damage / Banner of War super damage. Everything about the build just feels really good. There's Banner of War. Ooh, if I can just get a finisher on him. I don't know if that counted. There's Banner. Alright, I got my Banner of War ready to go, so we'll just go ahead and hit that, hit that. Why is he immune? Oh my god. Cranium. And I'm gonna run in like a bozo here and just try and get a sword final blow. There we go. Shackle grenade him so he can't shoot back. I have my Banner of War also, so I should do a pretty handsome amount of sword damage. That'll take Bucko's shield off. Should get an ignition right there. That'll blow up all of those guys. And another ignition. New Banner of War. I think with this super I should be able to kill him. If not, I can follow up with sword damage. Yep, easy peasy. Not bad at all. I think it took us like, what, 20 minutes? I'm very curious to see what our score is going to be, even with the boons still counting as negative modifiers and without things like Extinction or Brawn. Looks like we clocked a 2.5 million, which isn't crazy by any means, I wouldn't say. This build absolutely shines in any piece of content where you need decent boss damage, decent ad clear, decent survivability, and generally speaking, it's just very, very fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.